GameCube! Let's go! Right, yeah. Great introduction, is it not? Right, yeah, GameCube games today. Let's just dive right in. Okay, first game, Pikmin. Okay, I got this about a year ago. I didn't think I'd get into it since it is essentially an RTS, albeit one was made by Shigeru Miyamoto. But I got really addicted. Christ, there's a lot of dust on this. I swear to God, this is a good game. Yeah, I got really addicted. You know, it was like I couldn't put it down, sort of thing. There is a lot of shortcomings, like the fact that you got to beat the game in 30 days. I didn't care for that much, but everything else, the strategy involved, it's just a really good, addicting game through and through, in my opinion. So yeah, awesome. Captain Olimar, you suck in Brawl, but well, you're not that bad. But anyway. Tales of Symphonia, superb RPG. Very long, by the way. All the Tales games are very long, in fact. For some reason, I can never, love the Tales games as much as they deserve to. But hell, I'm just, in the smallest minority of this opinion. In any case, this is a very good RPG. It's very rare, though, at least in this country. It goes for a lot of money on eBay, so I'm glad to have this anyway. Thank God. Not as good as this RPG though, Skies of Arcadia Legends. Yeah. Obviously I had to own this. This version, despite not coming with a manual, actually check this out for collector's sake. I printed this off 5 years ago. This is a map where all the discoveries are. Skies of Arcadia Legend actually has more discoveries. And I still haven't found them all. That's pretty bad. But yeah. Skies of Arcadia Legends, the superior version, just because it has a bit more content, but you can still play the core experience on Dreamcast, and I prefer playing it on Dreamcast, as you know. So yeah. Beyond Good and Evil. I used to have this for the PS2. It's one of my favourite games by Michael Ansel. You know, the sequel needs to be made. Needs to be. I used to have it for the PS2. I originally played it on my cousin's GameCube. But then I traded it in on the PS2 years ago like an idiot. Then I finally found this and decided to pick it up, and yeah, awesome game through and through, as you all know. Soul Calibur 2. I'm a big fan of Soul Calibur, admittingly, but I've not played many of the games. I've only played the first one, and I've played the fourth one quite a bit, but not as much as I'd like to. Not played this one at all. I've played a couple of rounds with a friend, and it is the same great game, you know. I wanted to get it on the GameCube because of Link. You know, it's since Soul Calibur does that all the time. But it's the same game on each console. I just wanted it on the GameCube just for the hell of it, really. So yeah. Resident Evil Remake. Superb. Very good, you know. I mean, the first Resident Evil was so bad, it was good, okay? That's how I feel about it. But this just takes it in a whole new direction and just makes it absolute classic. Still looks fantastic to this day, it really does. I never did beat this, though. I've beaten the original on the DS, but I've never beaten this. Should really get round to that, in fact. Okay. Mario Kart Double Dash. One of the Mario Karts that I've spent less time playing in my life. My cousin used to have this, the same cousin who had Beyond Good and Evil, and we used to play it a lot, admittingly. But not as much as the other Mario Karts, to be honest. But yeah, still a good game, fun Mario Kart game. Hold on, I got a series here. Metroid Prime 1, Metroid Prime 2. Metroid Prime games, I love them, they're fantastic, you know. I never did beat this. I got to the last boss, never beat it, and I've regretted it every day since this is a fantastic game. This isn't as good, you know, just because, I don't know, a lot of people do rag on it a lot, actually, but I don't think it's as bad as they say, but it is not as good as this, but, yeah, Metroid Prime, you all know that these are awesome games, so, right, oh god, I best get this series out of the way. Hold on, this might take a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that everything? I hope so. Yeah, it is. Right. Sonic Adventure DX, I hate this version of the game. Literally hate it. It's the only way to play it is on the Dreamcast, in my opinion. It bugs me that there's so many Nintendo fanboys out there. Same goes for this game, to be honest. Even though this game is technically superior to the Dreamcast version because of its additional content, but this is just chock full of glitches. And I hate it when people act as if these are the only two versions of Sonic Adventure, not like the Dreamcast versions, you know. They are. I've got Sonic Adventure 2 lying right there, actually. But yeah, simply put, I would much rather play these on the Dreamcast where they belong, right? That's the total Sega fan in me just giving a big epic speech or something like that. But yeah, I do know this is a better version, but this game I literally hate. Sonic Heroes, I do like this. I'd say it's a good game. Not as good as the adventure games, but yeah, I've literally grown up with a huge fondness for this. I know in this day and age it's kind of seen as like the beginning of the worst, you know, because after this Sonic went right downhill, but I like it. I honest to God do like it. Right. Here's one I'm not too fond of, Shadow the Hedgehog. I don't hate this game all the way, okay? Because you can squeeze some amount of fun out of it, just a tiny bit amount of fun. But I would call it a bad game before I'd call it a good game. It is the best bad Sonic game, if that makes any sense, okay? Right, and here's something that is just absolutely god-fucking awful. Sonic Riders. I don't care what the fuck you think about this game. This is horrible. It is terrible. Jet and all the Babylon Rogues are shit. Sonic should not be on the board. I don't care what type of Sonic fan that makes me. This is a very, very, very bad game. Whew, that felt so good. Okay, now let's talk about some good games, shall we? Like Beautiful Joe. Absolutely superb. One of the few games by Clover Studios before they got shut down by Capcom. I never understand why Capcom did that, seriously. But anyway, yeah, fantastic. Great beat 'em up. 2.5D. Yeah, awesome. Need to pick up the sequel, actually. I don't have that. Right. Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes. Not my favourite version of this game. I prefer it on the PS1, mainly out of nostalgia. But still, this is a pretty sweet game. I don't like the cutscenes, admittingly. You know, they were totally redone, and it's so over the top. It's like, okay, a bit too far there. But overall, this is a good game. It's pretty rare, though. Like, really, really rare. I'm quite lucky to have, you know, a complete version. Very lucky indeed. But awesome. Metal Gear. Alright. Ikaruga. Now, I was told that this game was really rare, but I didn't have any trouble finding it. I just saw it in the shop one day and bought it. I think it was under a 2 for 20 deal. Yeah, but apparently this game is quite rare. It was originally on the Dreamcast, but I think it was only released in Japan on the Dreamcast. This was mega popular in the arcade in Japan. Then it was ported over to the GameCube, to America and Europe. I think that's true. Don't quote me on that. But it's also on Xbox Live, and it is one of the most frantic shooters you will ever play. You know, superb game.